Colts fall in the season opener again, 29-27 to the Houston Texans. I'm going to give you my reaction and all so much more on this, the No Horsing Around podcast.
Thank you.
Okay, so gathered my thoughts. We're about 4 hours post end of the game, somewhere around there, on the Colts season opening 29-27 loss to the Houston Texans. I wanted to take kind of some time. I'm going to start taking a little bit more time, but I wanted to take a little time with this because I don't know. I feel weird, right? Like, I feel weird. It feels different. Um, Obviously, it sucks, right? Another year, another season opening loss. You're already 0-1. You're trying to dig yourself out, right? But it feels at the same time different. And I'm going to tell you why, right? Why I think. Um, because you have a quarterback that you're excited about. You know what I mean? You go back last year, you were excited, and it stunk to lose. You go back the year before. I mean, wasn't that excited about Matt Ryan. You guys can go back and look at that. The year before that was Carson Wentz. I was somewhat excited. The year before that was Phillip Rivers. The year before that was Jacoby Brissett. So it felt different. Also, we'll get into kind of like good and bad and ugly of this game, right? It felt like tit for tat, right? Like, I was on Twitter, or X, sorry, after the game, the NFL put out these are two young guns in the AFC South. The AFC South is in good hands, and they're talking about one of your guys, your dude. And so you feel pretty good about that. And it just kind of overall it makes it feel a little different, right? So let's kind of stop the hum-ha and let's kind of go into the good from the game, the bad, and then just kind of the ugly, right? So like the good from the game, I look at it a couple of different folds, right? The secondary held their own, minus that massive catch to Nico Collins. I don't know what you're going to do. He seems to just have your number. He seems to work his way open. But other than that, they gave a lot. 24 for 32 for 234, an average of 7.3 yards per attempt, right? You made him kind of take what you gave him. So, I can't hate it too incredibly much. Some of the throws, too, were just like, you just kind of go, you just throw your hands up and go, oh, my God. Like the one on the sideline to kind of clinch it, essentially, was just an insane catch. Amazing ball placement. Jalen Jones couldn't be any closer to that ball, right? So, I was okay with that. Another good was the D-line, 4 sacks on the day, numerous pressures. You, at the same time, like, you've got to get home. There was too much of Stroud being able to manipulate the pocket, get out of the pocket, and find like across his body a Diggs or a cutting, Tank Dell. So you still have to get home, but the pressure and the waves on waves from the D line, from Kwity Paye and DeForest Buckner to Grover Stewart to Tyquan Lewis to Laiatu Latu, right? Like it felt like it was just wave upon wave that they could send in there. I like that, right? And then finally, I liked Anthony Richardson, right? And he's going to fall in good and bad, I think, which is what we all expect. It's the roller coaster of AR, right? Like it's a good roller coaster. It's fun, but there's ups and downs. 9 for 19, 212, and 2 touchdowns and a pick, right? And let's look at it. He was inaccurate a little early. He seemed to not be on the same page with A.D. Mitchell. There was a lot of times that A.D. was open, that maybe he overthrew him, or maybe A.D. thought he was supposed to go in and A.R. thought he was going out. There was a little bit of miscommunication there. And so you had those. And then you had like the throws. Like I don't even need to like identify Like when I say the throws, right? The first touchdown to Alec Pierce. I mean, he slipped and then without fully stepping into it, launched it 61 yards on the button to Alec Pierce for a touchdown. I mean, it's amazing. Uh, the second one to Alec Pierce, not the touchdown, but the other like 50-yard bomb. That was just he threw it and Alec Pierce went up and got it. And it was a great play. The laser that he threw to Ashton Doolin across the middle, they replayed it, and you're going to go like, oh, it's kind of those ones you're like, oh, okay, that's good. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Because it was like inches from being batted down, but he put so much on it that he got it into that window. And that's what you do when you have that kind of arm strength, right? You want him to learn from it. You don't want him to always rely on it, but that you have that. Then you have the running when it broke down. I mean, he still got sacked twice, but it was just times where he just couldn't get out of the mud of the pocket, and there was nothing you could do. But kind of, I like the combination of the design runs, right? The ability to get outside, the ability to go up the middle, and then let's be honest, man. We all get a little nervous when he gets hit, but the lowering of the shoulder when it needs to happen. Unlike somebody in Tennessee who does it meaningless in the middle of the field, 4th and goal, have to have it, lower the shoulder, push 2 people back and carry in a third Texan. That's impressive. That's impressive, right? So that's the good from him. But like I said, those are the good. The bad is still AR, 9 for 19, looking off, throwing the pick. I mean, I don't think it was completely on him. I think Granson slipped, which the surface and the grass on the field, the artificial grass, seemed to be a problem for both teams kind of early on. But slipping, he's not in the place where AR thinks he's going to be, pick. And you're going in to get points there too. If you have those 3 points, you won the game. So that's on him. He's got to read the field a little bit better. The run game outside of him, 104 yards on 22 carries. JT never really fully got going, but it looked good at times. It looked okay at times. It wasn't what I was expecting necessarily. I mean, and the ugly, in my opinion, I'm going to go twofold. I'm going to go Homer as a Colts fan, and I'm going to go one that just in general. The one just in general, the run defense, which is what you're going to hang your hat on, what you believe you're going to be able to do, and 30 carries, 159 yards, 213 yards total rushing from the Texans. You couldn't stop Joe Mixon. You couldn't do it. I don't know why. He was finding big gaps, and you just couldn't do it. And you pride yourself on that offensive line and that defensive line, and it didn't matter what you did. He averaged 5.3 yards per carry. I mean, every time he'd carry the ball, you're getting a 2nd and 5, which is really hard to defend against, right? So, I mean, you hang your hat on that run defense and you didn't get it. Another horrible to me, and this is just me, this may be just me. I mean, I put it out there on Threads. I put it out there on X a couple of times. The officiating of Anthony Richardson has to be better. Has to be better. I put out there that it felt like Houston was headhunting in the first half. You get the sack where he basically pins his arms and body slams him on his head. Should have been a penalty. Everyone said it should have been a penalty, and it wasn't a penalty. And then you have the one where he sneaks and he runs up the middle, and as he's going down, you see the guy coming in for his head again. I mean, you've got to officiate. This is kind of like the Cam Newton effect, right? He's a big physical guy. He can take the hits, so you don't think you need to protect him as much. Specifically, the one in the pocket where he pinned his arms and slammed him should have been a 15-yard penalty, which would have given them a new set of downs, which would have been very interesting to see what would have happened. I thought the officiating on that point was really, really poor, and it has to get better. So, I mean, overall, you had some good, you had some bad. I'm conflicted because I'm upset because you're 0-1 and you're 0-1 in the division to start the year. But you're also not going to play CJ Stroud every game. He looked really good. There's a lot of positives to come away from it, right? And there's other negatives. Shane's an aggressive coach, and sometimes you wish he wasn't so aggressive. Sometimes you wish he took points, or sometimes you wish that he punted, and it can end poorly. But I mean, overall, watching the game, I come out of that feeling hopeful, right? I come out of it going, man, he went toe to toe. You went toe to toe, blow for blow, from quarterback to quarterback with the best team in the AFC South, a lot of people have said, and one of the top 5 teams in the NFL, and you were in it to the end. We don't know what would have happened, but a part of you sits there and goes, if they could have stopped him and got AR the ball back, could he have gotten down the field? Potentially. It's kind of felt like the Rams game last year. Like you were in it and you had a chance and you just didn't, the offense didn't get the ball again, right? So, I mean, it's conflicted with that. But I think the idea behind it is there's room to grow. There's enough good and there's enough bad for Shane to teach and coach up going into the game next week, right? So overall, it sucks to be 0-1, but it is absolutely a different feeling from the years past. I want to know what you guys think. How do you feel? Am I off base? Should I be more upset? Because I don't like the Texans. I don't like that they ran their mouth all off season. I love the fact that they sacked him 4 times to shut him up a little bit, but they still lost. Or am I in the right a little bit that, hey, there you see the glimmer, you see the hope, you see the flashes. Could be worse. You could be a Titans fan, and Will Levis threw that game away. Anthony did not. Drop it in the comments. Let me know. As always, you guys, please like, share, subscribe, comment, all the great things that we love here. Also follow on X, Threads, Instagram, subscribe on YouTube. Go over and follow on Facebook. All the great things that we love. And as always, even though that it's a loss, I love you. The Colts do still love you. I'm out.
Thank you!